push record.
Are you like?
That journalism degree pops up every once in a while. Okay. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you today. We've been working on ensuring we have a strong model and success criteria with our exemplar to ensure students know exactly what they need to do to reach mastery. I've seen this in play in both of your classes this week. What has made this work successful since our last meeting?
Well, the kids know exactly what they're supposed to do, and it makes it easier to not have to say it 15 times when it's posted, you know, because the kids can look up there and be like, okay, instead of, you know, having to repeat yourself over and over. And it gives us a way of navigating what we're supposed to be doing.
How does your exemplar help identify what students need to do? Does it help? What is the purpose of the exemplar?
To show them what they're supposed to, what their the end result is, and going through the steps, each step, so that they can know how to do it. We're actually modeling our thinking process as well as each step, making sure that they get the steps and the thinking process to be able to deliver the end result. And so they get a chance, with our exemplar, they get a chance to see what it should look like at the end.
For sure. I want to stamp that. You guys are doing a really good job with your model and exemplar. I'm seeing it.
Thank you.
And today I want to dive deeper into how we plan for monitoring student completion of that success criteria. And I'm going to do a little model, and as I model, I want you to take notes on the steps that I take to ensure that I am monitoring for students. So you might have a chart that looks something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I would like you to script what is my success criteria that I am doing as a teacher in my planning to ensure that students are successful on meeting my model. So not the student success criteria, what does my success criteria look like, okay? Okay, we ready? And scene, or action. So I know later this week, I'm going to be covering 6.9, and I'm specifically going to be diving into text evidence and justifying answers. And we will be using Lead Forward's Rocking Review activities to do this. I know in our planning, we're Rocking Review rodeoing, as it's titled in our lesson internalization plans. Based on our PLC work earlier this week, I know the success criteria for the students for this lesson is to use their resources to identify unknown words, to restate the question and paraphrase their words, and to answer the question and specify text evidence. But I also know that for the we do, I need to make sure that I'm monitoring those students and are they doing each specific step. So as I model my thinking, we're gonna get into scripting each step. I know I have my resources here at my fingertips. I have my student success criteria that they have to do to be successful, which is use the resources, restate the question, and then answer the question and specify text evidence. I also know that I have my student roster and my seating chart. And then if you turn, I've given you guys exemplar copies of that as well. If you turn that over. So I am going to look, I have my student success criteria, my seating chart, and my coding chart. I know I need to align my monitoring laps, like what I'm looking for each student, to the success criteria for step 1. So for my strategic monitoring rounds, I know that lap 1 will be to ensure students are using the resources to identify their own misconception. Lap 2 will be to restate the question in our own words and paraphrase the question. And lap 3 will be to answer the question and specify text evidence. I'm going to write those laps on my planning chart and I will record student progress on each lap. So for me, step one is going to make sure I align my laps for what I'm looking for from each student on my planning chart, and making sure that those laps align to the student success criteria. The next step, I have my seating chart here. I will plan my pathway for each round. I know that my first group, seats 1 and 2, are my fastest finishers. So, lap 1 will be for them to use the resources to figure out words they don't know. And I would anticipate they would circle and look up words or use their knowledge of Cognit's and Spanish background to figure out what that means. For example, in the text, in one of the questions, there's the word skeptic, and I can anticipate students may not know what that means, but the Spanish cognate is esceptical. My Spanish this morning is not great. Esceptical, and so they could guess what that might mean with their partner. So that is something that in round 1, I'm going to be looking for. I will say to the class, I'm coming around to see if you have identified words you are unsure of and made a guess or are using your resources, either your dictionary or context clues or knowledge of Spanish to help you. I know if I get to the fastest finishers first, my seats 1 and 2, and they are struggling, I'm gonna have to stop and bring everyone back, whole group. But if my fastest finishers are not struggling, and I move on to my medium group and my low level students, to make sure that everyone is getting it. So after I have planned my monitoring route, I need to think through what my coding system is to make sure that I give feedback to each and every student in the moment on each lap. For this round, my coding system is going to be a star, a check, or a question mark. A star sign if they have good thoughts and I want them to share with the class. A check if they are meeting expectations and on the right track, and a question if I need more information and need them to keep working. I anticipate that some of my low-level students might make errors when it comes to text evidence. So I will say, go back and find your text evidence. I'm gonna come back to you and follow up as I write my question mark. After we complete 3 laps during the we do, I will release the groups to play the game together with the remaining 6 questions. And scene. So let's talk through a couple of questions. As I internalized the lesson, what did you notice that I was identifying and doing?
Well, the things that I liked that you did was the laps planned out. I do my laps, but I don't have them specifically planned out. You have each one planned out. Usually if I'm doing a lap, it's to find, all of it and then go back through, did they do it again, all of it. But you have specific things that you're looking for, like you broke it down for them. And then the other thing was you're telling students what you are looking for before you even go. And I appreciate that as well. And I think that I'm going to implement that in my aggressive strategic monitoring. They changed it.
They did.
I was gonna say that I agree with Ms. Berry, but as you were going through it, I was like, oh my goodness, when you were explaining the laps and what you did for each lap, instead of doing looking for everything, like Ms. Berry was just saying, that's what I was doing when I go around. But I noticed too, you were saying you go step by step as I'm modeling. Let's do step 1. I model step 1 and then I go out.
During the we do.
To check and make sure, during the we do, to make sure that they do step 1. So when I go back and I model it and everything, but then when we get ready to do the we do, I still go back, we go, what's step 1?
Mm-hmm.
So then making sure that they did step 1 and then step 2 and step 3, or am I not?
No, you're
Okay.
on the right track.
Okay,
What
yeah.
do our
That's
laps align to? Like, what is the first?
Your success criteria.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I'm
What you-
sorry.
yeah, the
Was
bottom.
she supposed to answer that?
both of you.
Okay.
It's, we're
Or what we
discussing
want to find, well, the finished process.
what we want to see.
Yeah.
And so each lap is aligned to each step in that
Yeah.
success criteria. And then, so if you were to name our action step for today's practice, what would you say it would be?
What would you wanna do in your lesson?
I just told you.
Say it again.
Plan out my laps, and what they're doing every specific lap.
Mhm.
And then also I want to tell my students what I'm coming around to look for each lap before I even start, because I say the queen is coming, don't judge me.
We're gonna
So you
upgrade
had it
that
up on the
today.
board.
Okay, just a little
The
bit.
queen is
We're gonna
coming.
I know they like it.
Yeah.
We could say the
They're
queen
like-
is coming to look for.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I wanna backtrack. What are we looking for? Step one,
Sorry, up there.
I know.
what's
Well,
our
the-
first?
actually, she has a different one, she has 4. But,
What the-
identifying the words that they don't know.
Okay, so that, but what are each of those things? What are we calling those things? Like,
Lap 1?
but what is lap one based on? What's that?
Oh, our success criteria.
Ding, ding, ding. Yes.
Okay.
So our action step today is using our success criteria. We're gonna check students' independent work to determine whether they're learning what we're teaching by creating a monitoring pathway. Step one to that is to make sure we have solid success criteria for students. And so you've got that right there. That's one. Step two is going to be to map out our monitoring pathway. We know we have different groupings of students, so map out the monitoring pathway. Step three, I'm sorry, I think I skipped a step. Step one is to create success criteria. Step two is to develop monitoring laps based on those success criteria. Step three is to make your monitoring pathway, and step four is to develop your coding system for each pathway. So,
We have a coding system.
that's amazing. Yeah, good.
Can-
So, yeah, go
Sorry.
ahead.
The coding plan. And that's why I should listen to you on the coding plan, so I apologize for that. But the coding plan here, I think that that's so, if I get my kids used to this coding plan, or a coding plan. You already did it for me, so just taking what you use. Then when I go around, I don't necessarily have to spend a whole lot of time talking about it, cause they already know if you have a star, strong response. You know what I'm saying? They already know that, or if a question mark, they already know, okay, try again. So I'm not having to stay so long with, they already know what the coding,
Also, I
Symbols
keep
are
it
too.
posted on my wall,
okay.
so the kids have it, they know the coding system
Okay,
of what to use.
alright, so that,
So
Like
we're gonna
that.
dive in a little bit to some practice. Those are some
Okay.
good thoughts. Let's dive in. Let's talk a little bit about what needs to happen for Monday's lesson so that we can implement this in that lesson. Let's look at our correspondence review for Monday. Students will be writing a letter to their future self. Let's dive into what exactly that success criteria is. What are the most important things students have to do to be successful on this task? Well, grab it.
Go ahead.
What are the most important things?
so they have all the basics, or like the greeting, which is to
Mhm.
themselves, you
So I'm
know.
gonna write greeting,
and
yes, what's the next
The
one?
body, part of
Mhm.
it, right? And then,
What do you want in the body?
in my class, we do a lot of affirmations, so
Mhm.
first thing in the morning, because I don't want them to feel like, sometimes everybody have a not so good day.
Mhm.
So, in the first thing in the morning, when they first come in, I am statements. So, affirming themselves, even if we believe that they're gonna do really good, that's our goal.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't do as well as what they plan, still, to your future self.
Affirm that.
Yeah, exactly, and be kind to yourself, be kind to yourself.
What's the prompt for the correspondence?
It is, writing a letter to your future self. So it's a correspondence, so they're learning correspondence. So they need to have a greeting, they need to have the date, they need to have a salutation, and they need to have their signature. Because those are the major things that we look for in a correspondence.
So that's similar to what I had with you. I had, the greeting. I had that in the body, they're going to write an inspiring message to themselves, so we would be looking for an inspirational sentence. You did great, or I'm so proud of you. I also put in the body, we might need to provide some sentence starters in our model for what that looks like. And we might need to show them how to start, maybe with a question. How do you feel? What's happening today? Take a deep, are you breathing? You know?
Oh, I was
Put a
afraid,
reflective-
I was
reflection
petrified.
content.
And then, you know, and then a closing encouragement. And then, so I had one greeting, two body, and then I had some notes about what I wanted in the body that I know in my exemplar I'm going to model. Then I had the salutation, you said that. And then when I looked at our lesson plan, we also had them addressing the postcard to themselves and using some of their creativity to create a picture on their own personalized postage stamp. And so for this, I have 5 success criteria: the greeting, the body, the salutation, the addressing on the postcard, and the postage stamp. And so we're kind of been sparring on our success criteria for that. Is there anything that we need to add to that success criteria? Do you have anything different than I have?
Greeting, praise.
Did you say sign?
Well, I did say sign it and date, but that's fine. I mean, I want those things, cause I want them to know how to do, like, those are the important things to me, because they, that's what they're gonna look for when they do it on STAR.
Okay. So where could we put that in? Because if we get too long,
I know, that's
we
what
have
I'm
too many
saying.
laps.
Mhm.
So could we,
Get them
on,
steps in, girl.
could we add salutation and signature
You
on
could
the
do
same
greeting
one?
and date together,
There we go.
and you could do salutation and signature together.
Okay. We good?
I'm good with that.
And then I kind of see the just for sake of time, the creating the postage stamp part, like your fastest finishers, that's something they could work on independently. And then you can still continue to circle and monitor with everyone else. But right now, I want to dive into practice. For our practice, you're going to take your existing seating chart and roster, and I want you to plan your monitoring path, your coding system, and internalize where you think students in this class will struggle. And then after this time, which you're going to have, you're gonna have 5 minutes to plan, and then we're going to practice and role play, okay? So I'm gonna set the timer for 5 minutes, and you guys work silent and solo, and then we're gonna work on our plans, and then we'll practice.
I have a question, Lynn.
Yeah.
Set
Set timer for 5 minutes.
Hey, come up to the front.
never mind.
5 minutes. Counting down.
All the way.
struggling with? I had a question with that, I misunderstood. And then I already did this too, cause I didn't know if that's what she wanted me to see, so that was today. Yeah. Yeah, so like what I do is like, I'm gonna go to my highest table and I'm gonna stand right there. Because they're gonna be done before I get to them if I don't. Does that make sense?
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
When I started.
So sometimes I change it up because they're smart too. And then they'll be like, oh, she didn't come to us first. Or, oh, we got a few minutes.
So what are you looking for in your first lap?
Greeting and date.
Okay. And then second lap? is
Praise.
The praise. And third lap is gonna be your
Salutation and signature,
Okay.
right? Did I do it right?
Yep.
Okay.
There's no wrong way to do this.
Well,
Okay, take one more minute to finish your plan and then we're going to role play. Okay, 10 more seconds.
I'm sorry, y'all, I'm just not the one that.
We're just role playing. It's okay. We're gonna practice. This is a practice clinic, so we're gonna practice. Okay? Ms. Lyons, I'm gonna have you go first,
Okay.
okay? We're gonna pretend that this is your classroom. Ms. Morgan, would you sit at that table? I'm gonna sit over here. Dr. Rhines, if you'd sit there, and then I want you to get to the front of the class and practice saying and doing a lap, okay? And we're students.
I have picked that, we at the end of the year. Over there, you see the Easter bucket
Oh, I see.
behind it?
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Lyons, you just completed your model, and now we're gonna do the we do. We're your students. I want you to give us the instruction and practice the lap.
Okay, guys. Sorry. So guys, you've already saw me actually, or seen me model my thought process as well as what I'm expecting for you to do in order to, or the steps that I'm wanting you to take in order to come out with what you see here, my exemplar, teacher exemplar. So what I want you to do, what I would like to see as I circulate the room, I want to make sure that you've done at least the first step, which is what? I should see.
The greeting and the dates.
Okay, so I'm gonna come around quickly to see if you've already implemented the greeting and the date, just like you saw me do, all right? So that's the first step.
I'm going to go.
Can I pause you?
Yes.
So I'm gonna practice real-time coaching, because we talked about the point of error. I want you to
Okay.
start back over, and your first step is actually to make sure that they know all your success criteria. So I actually want you to name all of your steps. I'm gonna be looking for this, then go to your original one.
Okay. Thank you.
So all my steps first. Alright, take 2. Alright guys, so you see me model, you saw my thought process, you see my end result. So what I want you to do before I start walking around circulating, I want to see all 4 steps that we discussed. The first one is we should have what? Number 1, step 1, we should see the date as well as
The greeting.
the greeting, thank you. Step 2, we're looking for
Praise.
praise in your,
Self.
okay, thank you. So not praise for Miss Lyons, but praise for yourself because we're writing to who?
Future
Ourselves.
Your
self.
future selves, all right, thank you. Step 3, I need to see, what did you see me do?
Salutation and your signature.
Okay, thank you, see, thank you. Pat that, give me some pat on the back. So you had your listening ears turned up. All right, awesome. And the last final step I should see on your postcard is what? Salutation and your
signature.
Should your signature be printed? No, because some of my students still, believe it or not, print. I want cursive, okay? All right. So step 1, I'm coming around and I'm looking for your date
Greeting
and
and
your
your
date. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to my early finishers first. Hi, hello. Alright, so I'm gonna do a star. Oh, I'll make it easy. Smiley face.
That's what I did too.
Do I need the year? Yes, remember, we always wanna make sure we add here because it could be 8 or 7. I'm sorry, 10. Okay. Use your coding system. Make them think. Okay, all right, thank you. What was the first step? Great job. Wrong place. All right, guys, so everyone looks like they're doing well. So we're gonna check, what's the second step that we need to do?
Praise.
All right, so as I circulate this time, I want to see that you have written the praise to your future self, just like you saw me do up here on the board, all right? Let's go. Excellent, way, guys, you guys got it. I love it.
Right,
Such world
and
changers.
Scene, your 5 minutes is up. Everybody give Miss Lyons a
Beautiful. Woo-woo.
How'd that feel? Good. Good job.
Thank you.
What were your
Thank
2
you.
upgrades from the practice?
Well, most definitely the coding and less words, because I can use a lot of words. A lot of words. And so I just need, especially with the time frame, I need to, and again, allow them to have that struggle, productive struggle and work through the process and just use the coding. And again, if I have the coding symbols up there on the board, my kids already know what each coding.
And I wanna stamp what Dr. Ryan said.
Oh, and then
Before
also,
you do
yes,
that, make
before,
sure you
yes,
have that
absolutely.
success criteria. It starts
Steps.
there,
Steps.
and then you tie your laps to that.
Yes, yes,
Great job.
absolutely. Thank you.
Ms. Berry, come on down.
Okay. So. Alright guys, so we have been going over, your correspondence letters to yourself. So what we're gonna do is, the queen is coming. And I'm going to be coming looking for 3 different items. The first item I'm gonna be looking for is I'm gonna be looking for your greeting and your date. The second item I'm gonna be looking for when I come around is gonna be the praise that you're giving yourself. And then the third item that I will be looking for is the salutation and the signature at the bottom of your correspondence. So I'm about to come around. What am I gonna be looking for the first time?
Reading and
Greeting and date. Fabulous job, y'all. Here comes the queen. Oh, let me open the pen first. You make Miss Berry smile. You know that? You do too. Alright, you guys are doing a fabulous job. I'm so impressed with your work. So this next time that I come around, what I'm gonna be looking for is I'm going to be looking at how you are talking to yourself. I want you to make sure that you're praising yourself. You guys, this is not easy. We work all year for this. And so I want to see that you are praising yourself the way that you deserve it. So what am I going to be looking for?
Praise.
I don't have to say it the second time, right? I don't have to say all the criteria the second time, do I?
Just the step.
Just the step that I'm coming for, okay. Oh, yeah, no, it's not. Oh, it's, no. Okay, so how am I going to fix that? And then also, can we use, one of our dead words, huh?
I wrote 2 sentences.
Excuse me. No, I'm just playing. Made you laugh though. You make me smile, Miss Morgan. You made me smile. Now, if you catch a kid, okay, hold on, time out. If you catch a kid making a mistake and it's not in your criteria, can you correct it then?
What would you use in your coding system to guide them?
To guide them, I use a circle. I circle either where I want that or what I need done or what I need taken away, and I just say, what's supposed to go here? And just walk away. Does that make sense?
I think that's exactly right.
Because sometimes you see something and you might not see it.
Circle that and direct them to the cognitive, who does the work when you do that?
The
You or
kid.
the student?
The kid.
Absolutely.
Okay. I love what you wrote up here. Beautiful. I'm so proud of you too. About 5 minutes again.
You got 30 more seconds.
Yeah, okay. All right, you guys are doing fabulous. I just want to know how wonderful each of you are. You guys have been putting great praise, amazing things, amazing ideas about yourself. Love you guys.
What's our next step?
The next and final step is our salutation and our signature. Our salutation and our signature, right? Okay, here comes the queen. Okay, because I would. Oh, there it is. Thank you for showing me. You might want this on this side, you know, to help. Okay.
And scene. Good job. How'd that feel, Miss Berry?
Yeah, I mean, I like that, I think that, like, I don't like to surprise my students. I like to tell them what's going on, like, what I'm doing and what they're doing. And I just never thought about giving it to them piece by piece like that. So I am definitely upgrading my, strategic monitoring to implement that.
So I'm gonna ask you a question. I want you to think about and formulate your answer and then give me a thumbs up when you have it. How did we practice the action step we named today? Think about it. Once you have your answer, give me a thumbs up. What's the first thing we did? Go ahead, Ms. Lyon.
You actually, you did what we were, blah, 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 blah. We discussed, but you modeled, I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but you actually, what we did here was you modeled exactly what we should be doing in our classroom. Breaking it down, step by step.
What were you gonna say, Ms. Berry?
We modeled too. So after you modeled, we actually got to practice what we were expected to do in the classroom, so I like that.
Absolutely. What was the first step of creating a monitoring pathway? What's the first thing we have to do?
The first step to creating the monitoring pathway or the whole thing?
Well, the first step to doing strategic monitoring, what is our first thing what is our success criteria as teachers to make sure we're doing it correctly?
I don't know if I'm getting this right. So,
The coding
We're
system?
in the success criteria, what are the criteria?
Before you get to the coding system, what are you coding?
Kids.
Right, but what are you looking for? in
Oh,
kids?
our labs, I'm
A lab.
sorry.
So what are your labs tied to? The first
The
step is,
lesson, the criteria,
the what?
the lesson criteria.
The success criteria.
Oh, success
Oh,
Yes.
success criteria.
From your exemplar.
Yeah.
Yes, step one is make sure you have success criteria.
Yes.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Step two is what?
Map out the monitoring pathway,
Your
Your labs.
labs
my labs.
aligned to what? Aligned to what?
The success
The
criteria.
success criteria. And then you plan out your pathway.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That's three. And the coding,
And your coding system.
yeah.
Y'all good?
Yeah.
Okay. So on Monday, I wanna come see this practice live in your class. Ms. Lyons, what period do you want me to come? Give me two options, knowing how it is.
Third, sixth,
Works.
seventh?
Or 6 or 7. Thank you for three. Ms. Barry, when do you want me to come?
6, 7.
see you both Monday. Thank you for your time and attention and practice in today's practice clinic. And I will be back. I'll see you Monday.
Okay, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. You did amazing.
Thank you, Brenda. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
thanks.
welcome. Thank you. Thank you for the